I am Fridge. Welcome to episode 73 of Where Civilization Started Over. At the end of the last episode, we saw a coalition form against Wales. And today, we'll be seeing the fight happen. Wales is was not expecting this, so troops from these countries will quickly start to push into Wales. If I can get that. Let me make that a bit darker. So troops from Denmark will quickly start to push into Wales, getting close to this major city. However, Wales will start to push troops into this country here, quickly pushing towards the capital and taking it pretty quickly, as this country is one of the weakest countries in this coalition. And they will also start to push back against the Danish troops. Up here, we will see the Norwegian troops push in around here by where the capital is, and they will push towards this major city here. Now, there's only 1, 2, 3 countries that actually border Wales. However, there are a bunch of countries sending troops to these countries, the strongest of which, though, it might take a while to get there, as they have to go all the way around to get there. Looking at the top 10 countries in the world, if I can find it, or well, it's more than top 10 now, we can see that Wales is 7, Denmark is 11, and, well, Korea is number 1. But Wales is going to need to try to get a lot of these countries out before the Koreans can get over here. So, up here, they will push back against the Norwegian troops, and then push into Norway, and take their capital pretty quickly. Before pushing, they also take this major city, but they then push towards the border of Sweden, where they then push down and take Sweden's capital. So they've already taken 2 capital cities, and the war just begun. However, over here, the Danish troops will push back against the Welsh troops, now taking this major city here. And they'll even send some troops down to help out their ally down here, as they push Wales out a little bit. Now, the Wales Navy was planning to invade Greenland. However, as this coalition formed, they were all pulled back to defend the country, so Greenland is safe. However, the military is way too small to do anything offensive, so while they're part of the coalition, they're mostly just going to be serving as a place for Korea to land their troops before heading over to Iceland and then Wales. But anyways, back up here, Wales continues to have success, now pushing towards this major city up here. And over down here, they also continue to have some success pushing further along the coast here. And Denmark might get invaded from over here, so they're going to send some troops up to help out these 2 countries up here. Along with that, all of these troops have made their way over here, so with that, we can see these countries start to push back a bit. With Norway pushing back, they failed to take back this major city, but they do push back quite a bit. Along with Sweden, they also push back, but they failed to take back their capital. Down here, Wales is going to try and make this country collapse by pushing further in. I mean, most of the troops in here already are Danish troops anyways, but they've already taken most of this country's land, and they're pushing towards this major city. However, there's a lot of Danish troops defending it. Speaking of Denmark, they will continue to push a bit along here, but they are quickly stopped by Welsh troops. Heading back up here, Wales is going to send some troops in over here to take this major city. Along with that, they also push up towards this major city and take it. However, Norway does push back a bit over here. Heading back over here, Wales will still push back against the Danish troops, now pushing them back. They don't take back this major city though, but they do push them back a little bit. However, that comes at the cost of losing some land over here. And while Korean troops have arrived in Greenland, and, well, that's really it, because if they try to get over here, they get murdered by the Wales Navy. Wales Navy is one of the best ones in the world, and while Korea's is also one of the best ones in the world, it will be difficult to make a landing. I should probably show the Navy, so let me do that. So there's the Navy map. Anyways though, back on the land, we will see Wales continue to push, that's way too big now, continue to push into Norway. And they will also push a little bit back further into Sweden, however, they don't take much land. And over here, with Denmark is stalemated, so the coalition, they're going to add another country to break the stalemate. In fact, they're going to add a few more countries. Those countries that they're going to add are none other than an old ally of Wales, that being the pink Iberian country, and also, we will also see none other than Italy, or the green Italian country, join the war. And with these countries in the war, this is not good for Wales, as both of these countries are, well, though weaker than Wales, but they're pretty strong countries. So this country will push into Wales over in the south, quickly taking some major cities. Along with that, you also see this country start pushing in. And this is not good for Wales, who is going to try to find an ally to help them out, but no one comes to their aid. And that's not good for Wales. Meanwhile, with the Navy layer, the Korean Navy is pushing into the Wales Navy and starting to push into Iceland, taking naval superiority around some of the island. And they will then start to land troops on the island, which will not be good for the Wales, as the Korean troops push in. They take this major city down here, and they start pushing along the island, getting close towards these two major cities. And Wales does have some military over here, but most of the military is down over here as well. They're getting pushed into by a lot of countries down here. They will start push back against the pink Iberian country a little bit. They take back this major city, but they don't take back any more major cities, and they don't push back too far, just a tiny bit. They also will push back a little bit over here. However, that will come at the cost of the stalemate up here being broken, and Denmark will push a little bit further into here, and push Wales a little bit out of their ally over here. back up here, Wales' navy will push into Denmark's, taking superiority over this area here, and getting close towards the capital, which is not good for Denmark. However, the reason why they did this is so that they could push further in into Denmark, which they will push further into, and these two colors are way too similar. Let me fix that. That's better. But they will push into Sweden, meeting up with the border of Denmark, where they will then try to push into Denmark, but we'll have to wait to see what happens there. Meanwhile, though, up here in Norway, they'll get pushed out of this major city over here, and we will even see these troops start to push into Wales a bit over here. Why? I don't know. But they will also push along. They will also push along here and try to cut this major city off from the rest of it, which after a lot of work they will successfully do, trapping a bunch of Wales soldiers in this major city here. Back down over here, we will see these countries start to push back against Wales again. However, they failed to take back this major city. Meanwhile, though, Italy will also push in. However, they are stopped. And to break the stalemate, they have a plan to go through this country here. So they send troops through this country, taking this major city here, and meet up with the border of Wales over here, where they will then send out troops into Wales and take this major city here from Wales before getting stopped. And while this country is not a big fan of getting invaded, anyways though, back up here, the Korean Navy is continuing to beat the Wales Navy as they push further along here. In fact, they push the Wales Navy completely out of this area here, pushing them back down towards this side of Iceland. They also push a little bit over here. Along with that, on the land, they push further towards these two major cities, and after a long battle, they will successfully take both of them. And they'll also push a bit more along the island in the north, as a lot of the soldiers have fled to the south, and they will cut off this major city. There are still some troops in there who will hold out for now. Meanwhile, though, back over here, things are not going to be going good for Denmark, as they have just lost this major city, and Wales is pushing further into them. With that, they're going to import some troops to go deal with that. So they will leave. So down here is currently stalemated. With the Navy, however, they have pushed back against the, well, they have pushed against the one up here a bit. I don't know why I can't just do the same color. It's not letting me for some reason. Yeah, the Navy layers decided to be weird. I don't know why. Anyways, though, they push a bit over here. However, Wales' Navy is still winning up here. Pushing towards the capital. And that is not good, as they cut off the Navy into two parts. However, maybe they should be focusing on saving Iceland right now, but they've decided not to focus on that. Anyways, though, back down here it's still stalemated for now. And up here, eventually a stalemate will occur. However, this major city will get murdered. Or not murdered, but the troops there will get murdered, and up here the Wales will push back against there. But after that, this area gets stalemated, and after some more fighting in Iceland, it will eventually get pushed completely out, with the troops remaining here being poured out. And meanwhile, the navy layer, the Koreans have completely pushed the Welsh navy back to there, and they are heading towards this island now. However, eventually the navies will also get stalemated, and everything is stalemated at the moment. While Wales is losing this war, having lost all of Iceland and some land down here, and also some land over here. They have also completely destroyed this country here. Actually, there was a little bit of pushback from this country, but not much. And also, they have taken the capitals of Norway and Sweden. However, something is going to happen inside of Wales that will break these stalemates. In Wales, we see Brittany declare independence. If you remember, Brittany, after World War III, they got annexed by Wales, but here they are declaring independence. And this is not good for Wales, as they have to send a lot of troops to deal with this. And Wales will start to push into this. Let me change that color a bit. They will start to push into this, taking this major city up in Normandy, and taking this major city. However, this will come at the cost of these countries down here will push further up into Wales. Along with that, over here, we see Denmark and their ally down here start to push back against Wales, with their ally now taking back their capital, and Denmark pushing down here, getting close towards this major city here, which they will take. And up here, we will see Norway push back against the Welsh troops as well, now pushing them completely out of the country, even taking back their capital. And in Sweden, the same thing will happen. And in Denmark, these troops here are also killed. With that, Wales has lost all the land in other countries that they had taken. And up here, the troops up here are starting to plan an invasion to take back this land here. And while Brittany is still dying, we will soon see another area declare independence. We see Scotland declare independence next. And this is not good for the Navy, as there were some ports along here. Along with that, these islands here quickly join the Scottish Revolution. And with that, in the navies, we see the Korean Navy continue to push against the Welsh one, now getting to this island here, and also completely taking this here, and they will make a landing on this island and take it, which was one of the biggest naval bases for the Welsh. That is not good. Anyways, though, with Scotland declaring independence, they are going to push into some land they used to own, with them pushing along here, taking this major city here, and pushing up here. They also take this island somehow. I guess like snook across there on the Navy. They'll push further in here. However, eventually Welsh troops will show up and start to push back against them. Even starting to push into them, taking this major city and pushing along here. However, this will come at the cost of more land being lost, with the Green Italian country now taking this major city, and the Pink Iberian country pushing further here, now meeting up with the rebellion over here, which is also starting to push back against Wales. Over here, we also see Denmark push. Just got a text. Who's texting me? And we will even see the country here start to push into Wales, which they get invaded by this country here. That's embarrassing, Wales. I thought you were better than that. Up here, though, we will see the troops up here start to push into Wales, taking this major city and even pushing over towards the old capital of Norway and taking that. And, well, Wales is going to just completely get pushed out of here. And this isn't just Norway doing this, this is also Sweden and Finland and these other three countries, Estonia, this northern Russian country, this St. Petersburg country. They all are helping there. Scotland is getting murdered, though, again. But, well, that's good for the others, because that means that Wales is busy dealing with that. There's two different colors, let me fix that. And the this is where this is kind of the capital of the revolution, this major city here. It'll get cut off from the rest of the revolution. However, soon Scotland will be saved as the Koreans move over towards Scotland. They're going quick with the navy being destroyed, and they eventually will link up with the Scottish rebellion, and with that, a bunch of Korean troops will help as Scotland will begin to push back against the Welsh again. However, they will lose this major city over here. However, with help from the Koreans, the revolution over here lives on as they push further against the Koreans, now pushing back over here. Along with that, Korea's navy is destroying Wales. That's a different color for some reason. Korea's navy is destroying Wales more as they now make landings on these islands over here. And, well, the naval layer is now looking something like, well, that's all they, actually, that's not even correct. Their navy has now reached over with Norway. However, well, Norway is already won over here, so yeah, but anyways, Korea will take these islands over here. And the Scottish continue to push against the Wales, now kicking them out of Scotland. And down here, these troops continue to destroy Wales, now taking this major city. Over here in Normandy, the Brittany country kicks, or the Brittany Revolution kicks Wales out and pushes and connects up with Denmark. And with this, the French part of Wales falls, Now all that remains is the British Isles. However, we're going to see another event happen. Over in Ireland, we are going to see an anti-fascist group break out, and this group wants to be independent from fascism. They will break away from Wales. And if you remember the history of Wales, a long time ago, the Dutch and the Scottish pushed them out of Wales, and they fled to Ireland, where they then lived until World War II. They managed to take back Wales, where they then went fascist and formed the Welsh Empire. And now, well, they're probably going to die, as all that remains is this area here, and with the Koreans and the Scottish pushing over here, they will quickly push down and take back a lot of old Scottish territory. Along with that, over here, the Danish Navy will destroy... It's a different color again, what? I don't know why it keeps changing colors, but the Danish Navy will destroy Wales. Now allowing for a landing on Wales, where we see troops from every country land down in this major city here, if it will color that is, and start to push into Wales. They also make a landing over here, starting to liberate, well, some people liberate the English part, and they start to push towards the capital. Meanwhile, up here, the Koreans and the Scottish are doing the same, and the Koreans actually want to reach the capital of Wales before the Danish can. However, they will fail, as the Danish, along with the other countries, take the capital of Wales, capture the leader, and following which Wales will fall. And with that, the war is over, and the coalition has won. And now we can look at a peace treaty. So, here we have the peace treaty of the coalition, in which, as you can see, a lot has changed. Wales has been reduced to just this here. Along with that, Scotland is back, and they have a lot of their old land. Ireland is also back, and Brittany, and not the same color, but this country, England, is also back. However, this time, they are actually a kind of a puppet of Denmark. Norway got their old land back, and Iceland and this island here were both taken by Korea. Down here, this city-state is back. I know you all missed that city-state. Along with that, the Pink Iberian country got a lot of provinces here. The Green country also got 2 provinces here, and this country here got this province here. We also have a few new countries, those being these 2 here, who were given independence. Along with that, Denmark took 3 provinces here, and this country here took a lot of provinces, now having a coastline. But anyways, like I said, where's the where I'm looking for? With this country here being, with this new country here being a puppet of Denmark's, they will be forced into Denmark's alliance. Other than that, there's not really much alliance changes. So yeah, that was the coalition. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Goodbye.